Okay, let's just get going. So if you guys have questions, then ask away. She's probably typing it. And honestly, if you guys have questions, just feel free to unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat. Okay.
Okay, I'll just unmute myself.
Yeah, just
Is it ever okay to discuss money on your page? Like, as in, if I just post, my superfood supplement is however much, and then the nutrition plan is however much and bundled. Because other MLMs, people will be like, oh, I'm messaging you right now. And a lot of people want to know how much it is. And I love finances and being particular. I know there are different plans for everybody,
and
which is why you like to talk about it privately, but
I would, if people, and it's totally up to you, because I've seen people comment with just the prices, because I do understand sometimes when people are like, well, I'll message you, because then you almost feel sometimes that it's being secretive. So if that's you, I would almost just like comment under and just be like, it totally depends on what your goals are. It starts at 160 and it goes to whatever. That's what I would
okay.
probably say. And then just be like, message me and we'll chat about kind of what, or just like, but it's okay to like say that, I think.
But do you make posts every once in a while with
Um,
prices of things?
yeah, I haven't made like a post.
Never see anybody do that.
Yeah, I haven't really made a post explaining the price change and all that, but I don't think, I mean, yeah, I haven't really done that, but you could somewhat talk about it. You could even say, like, for $160, I started this and I got this, this, and this in it. And it's blessed my life in these ways. Do you know what I mean? I think if you kind of related the price to something else and maybe broke it down, I think that would be totally fine. Does that make sense? I don't know. She's frozen. Um, yeah. Did you hear that? I don't know if you
Yeah.
froze. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to the chat box.
Oh, okay. Does that
Thanks.
make sense? Like then I think if you relate it to something like relatable and personable and it's not just a dollar sign, then I think that's fine.
Okay. And we don't drop Shakeology or Beachbody names. What's up with that?
Well, it's more of just like what's the word I'm looking for?
Marketing? Advertising?
What's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember.
Curious thought? Curiosity? Oh.
Curiosity marketing. And I think it's okay to like say some of it, but at the same time, honestly, because I would totally do it. If somebody said, hey, if they like had a cute shirt on and they said, I got it on Amazon, here's the link, blah, blah, blah. I would never comment and start a conversation with them. You would just go to the link, or you would just go and buy whatever they were talking about. If they told you exactly what it was and where to get it, that's why we say not to say exactly what it is, because then you have to actually talk to the person and they have to talk to you and they can't just go to the website and order it. So yeah, that's why.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. And it's more fun just to get to know people and get to know their goals and what they want. And then also you can help answer their questions about it and like just different misconceptions that people have about Shakeology and different things. You can address those when you're talking to them instead of them just Googling it or going to YouTube, because there's a lot of really negative people on those things that just want to be just kind of rude. So that's why they say that. But what other questions do you guys have? Emeralds, right? Yeah.
I mean, if no one else has questions, I have more.
Yeah, keep talking.
Okay, so on that flash sale, I read that you can do a bundle for $200 instead of 45. The cooler is that is $45. Is there? I mean, we get SC points, right? If we still do that for people.
Sorry. Okay, you cut out. What was it?
On the flash sale, I saw a package where you do a UPF bundle with Shakeology and the bod for $200 instead of $245, because you just do like something and then you add in the bod. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you
And
still,
so,
yeah, you still get points from that. So the UPF and Shakeology is considered a challenge pack. So
yeah.
it's just like a deal that they're doing right now is when you get that challenge pack, they give you the discount on adding on the bod to it. And that could change every month. They might not do it.
Oh,
So it's
I
mostly like,
understand.
yeah. So
Okay.
something they're doing this month to kind of help promote UPF and then also add the on-demand to it. So
Okay,
that's
that's
you
great.
do still get points for that though. So yeah, so I hope. Okay, Kelly says best way to get your inactive discount coaches back to active. Talk to them and always just get them back rolling on their journey. And like Micah always says, you shouldn't count on your discount coaches to help you hold rank. And I know that's hard, we all do. But you just need to find new people to fill those spots because that's what they are. They're a discount coach. If they don't want something this month, then that's what they signed up for, right? But at the same time, if they've never tried Energize and Recover, or if they've never tried the beach bars, I always talk to them all the time. If they haven't tried those, like you guys, the beach bars are the best snack ever. So if they haven't tried stuff like that, then they might as well be trying these things that are good for them. And then also they get a discount on. So just talk to them, make sure they're active in your challenge group. And I try to have like once a week, I try to message my coaches that I'm not seeing active in my team pages or active in a challenge group just to check in on them. And lots of times they'll be like, oh, I need to get this and this ordered again. Or since the plant-based Recover just came out, message them and let them know like, hey, you guys, I don't know if you're sensitive to the whey, but I know that the vegan Recover just came out. I don't know if anybody's tried it. I wonder if Mike has tried it. I haven't even tried it because I haven't gotten mine yet. But just let them know that this is brand new. If they want to try it, it's supposed to be awesome. So I don't know if anybody's tried it. Mike, if you've tried it, you should tell us how it is. But that's what I would do. Just touch base with them and get them to try all the products. And you guys, Beachbody is always open, always trying to get new products rolling. Sure, they'll announce some at Summit. Hopefully, that'll be awesome. Any other? Okay, Bryn. I'm always straight up with my. Oh yeah. So Bryn says she's always. You can unmute yourself if you want, Bryn. I'm always straight up with my discounters who are inactive. I say something like, girl, I noticed your coach account has gone inactive, which means you haven't been utilizing your 25% off. There's really no point in being a discount coach if you aren't getting something every month. So let me either help you order or help you cancel because I don't want you to waste your discount. And that's perfect. I mean, and if it's more like, oh, 1 month they didn't want to get it, okay. But if like it's been months that they haven't ordered anything, really they're not saving money. So I think it's always better to just be upfront with them instead of trying to beat around the bush with it. And you guys, you'll find people that want to stick around. You'll find those lifers that even if they're not working the business are wanting to be a part of it. But I don't know. I just think that discounters are awesome, but hard because you don't really know how to approach them sometimes. But just always make sure that they're plugged into everything. Because if they're doing the workouts, or make sure, like, ask how their journey's going. Because if they're not getting the results they want, they probably need to start using the products, okay? You can't just kind of sort of do a few workouts here and there and get results. You can't just sort of eat good and get results. Like, break it down and let them know and give them a little tough love with getting back on their journey. Okay, Jessica asked, besides PD, what's the best way to keep yourself motivated to stay consistent in doing the things? Like business building stuff. So one, I actually had a coach ask me last night, she's like, how can I feel more like connected to the team? And I'm like participate in the team pages and in the chats. And I honestly feel like those coaches that are engaging in the chats and engaging in the team pages, those are the coaches that are getting up, doing their workout, getting their power hour done every day. And because that's the whole community aspect of it. And so I just feel like you guys are not always going to feel like doing it. That's just the super honest truth. There's going to be lots of days that you wake up and you don't want to talk to a soul and you don't want to do anything. But if you want to grow your business and you want this to turn into something that you see all these other coaches that they've like worked towards and accomplished, you have to just do it. You have to talk to people. You have to have that discipline and making yourself do it, because if you act on how you're feeling and not just doing the things you know you need to be doing, then you're not going to get to your goals. You're just not. So you have to just force yourself to do it. Set a timer. even if you set a timer 3 times during the day and say, okay, go invite 5 people and do it a couple times during the day. And if you're the type of person that needs to sit down for 10 minutes at a time, or if your kids are crazy and you can only do 10 minutes at a time, then do that. But you got to find what works for you. But you just got to do it. Like, there's no tricks to it. You just got to do it. Okay. So Bryn just put a quote. So Bryn says, also remember that your discounters are sleeping beauties. They could become your rock stars. That's so true. It's so true. How many of us, I didn't sign up to work the business. I know that there's a lot of people that did not sign up to work the business, and now this is what they do. So you don't ever want to give up on them. That's why you should always check in with them and get them back rolling on their journey. Stacy said, I'm constantly getting people who tell me she's such an inspiration, but they never want to join. I have a coworker who literally tells everyone about my journey, but won't join me. How do I convert them? Do you straight up ask them to join? Like your coworker that's always telling you that you're super inspiring, do you just say, do it with me? Like, sometimes you just have to be brave and just ask.
Oh, I've asked her many a time.
Sorry, I can't even see you. Oh, there you are. And what is her excuse?
It's different every time. It's money. Once it was time. Like, she's still watching my stuff. We were at first aid a couple months ago, and our first aid instructor asked us, like, oh, who actually works out here? We were talking about heart conditions. And she put her hand up and she said, Stacy is the most inspirational person I know. She works out every day, to a group of like 30 people. And so after I went up to her, I'm like, so, are you ready yet? Oh, no, I can't.
Does she not want to do the coaching side of it, or does she not even want to
She won't even do a challenge pack.
Yeah. I would just keep
on her.
Yeah. Because a lot of those people literally will watch you for a year. Will watch you for so long. And it's frustrating because you just want to shake them and just be like, hello, just trust me. Like, you're not getting results by watching me. Like, watching me rock my life is not helping you better your life. It's not.
Right.
But though maybe you need to just like talk about that more in your posts and just be like, hey, like, I appreciate people that tell me I'm so inspirational, because I hear it too sometimes. I'm like, thank you. That is a nice compliment. Yes. But at the same time, you just want to be like, oh, so inspirational. Like, join me, do this with me. And lots of times they just need that time. They're just watching you.
Fine.
Does anybody else have any, like, I don't know if Micah's listening, but like ways to talk about people? Because I have one of my coaches, she has people tell her all the time, you're so inspirational, blah, blah, blah. And then they like don't ever sign up. And Shay, do you want to talk about it? You can.
Sorry, I was on mute. I mean, like, it's so crazy. Like, I've really had to work on this because I had to get bold, and I'm still working on it. But in my community, because I was kind of out, I'm an extrovert, and for my last job, my job was business development. So I was like out in the community a lot. So a lot of people follow me on Facebook. And it was 2 years ago, I won Northwest Arkansas's like best health coach. But I was like, that's awesome, all these people that voted for me, but you're not my customers. Like, how do I convert these people to my customers, And I think I just got, like, you just get more bold in asking people through on Facebook because most of them are either following you, because if they're watching you working out, it's either on Facebook or Instagram. And so you just have to see who's watching your stories or who's liking your stuff. And every single one of those people, you just got to reach out to them and just be like, hey, you want to join me? I mean, that's really the only way that you can do it, is just simply by asking them. And if they say no, they're just not ready per se. But I mean, it's just, I think I just had to kind of like get over myself and just get bold and just be like, okay, like, I know that you find me inspiring, but I'm not doing anything that anybody else isn't doing. And I think being authentic and share your struggles too, because for me, for a while, like, I was because my background's nutrition. I have 15 years as a nutritionist. So I think a lot of people were seeing that was great that I was doing it, but they can never do what I did. And I think it's helped me have a baby. I'm not saying go have a baby, but I think that they see that like I'm in the trenches with them. And so share those trench stories too, that, hey, I had this struggle, but this is how I overcame it. So yet you're more relatable, not that you're just like, like Jillian Michaels, she's inspiring. Autumn Calabrese, she's inspiring, but I don't think I'll ever be her.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, so be the person that they can relate to, that they can remember who you were back before, and just like whether it's now or back then, like what are those struggles so that you're more relatable. So when they say you're inspiring, they see themselves in you.
I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think that's
Can
good.
I add something to that?
Yeah, go for it.
So I get a lot of people who are like, girl, I love you. I love you're so inspiring. I love your family. You're so positive. One of the things that I like to do for those people, because they're constantly watching, they continue to watch, ask questions. What's stopping you from joining me? You know what I mean? Like, I think when you ask questions and get to like the root of why they're not joining, and then you can address it publicly in your posts, right?
Right.
If like sometimes people really, really think it's a very limiting mindset, and they look at you and think, I could never do that. I could never inspire people. I could never change my life, you know? And it's a mindset thing. So I think when you really start to ask deep probing questions, give them time, but address it publicly, and really, like Shay was saying, talk about your struggles and how you went through that and how you used to think that you couldn't do it either. And then talk about that and talk about how you overcame that mindset and that limiting belief. And then just continue to ask. But don't be afraid to say, okay, like I'm inspiring, but I can't inspire you if you're not willing to do anything. You know what I mean? Like inspiring is great, but taking action is another thing. You know what I mean? If you really want to change your life, you got to take action. So just be honest and talk to them about it.
And I was going to add too, like, I love that, Amanda, but I was going to say, like, share when you struggle too. Because I think that makes it like, dude, I don't always want to get up. Because some people are like, oh, you're so motivated to get up at 5 a.m. Dude, no. You know what I mean? Like, that's just dedicated. So I think when people hear like, oh, you don't want to get up at 5 a.m. No, not all the time. That makes you seem more relatable, right? Because I struggle too. Like, ice cream calls my name in the middle of the night. Like, I literally I hear it calling me. I'm like, don't you hear that? It's calling me. Tell that to people. Like, they want to know that, you know, that is a struggle for you too. And I think that makes it, they're like, oh, okay, you really are like a, you know, real person. That's not a robot. Like, I eat salads all the time. No.
No, that's perfect. All those are awesome. It's
Yeah, one time someone said to me, like, hey, we'd really like to invite you and Mitch over to a barbecue, but you like don't eat that stuff. I was like, what? Yes, I do. So that really made me think, like, what am I putting out there? And I don't know if have you guys ever seen that Beachbody coach where she's like eating spinach out of the bag? And she's like, but like she's actually eating, what is she eating? She's eating like some chocolate or something. And then when somebody comes by her car, she's like, oh, you know, just eating some spinach, girl. You know, like, we have to remember, like, we have to be real. And I think that, like, that was a couple years ago that it made me realize, like, what am I putting out there? Like, that I only eat salads? No, like, I splurge, but I just have learned to do it in moderation. And there's times I get off track and how it makes me feel. And I don't know, but it was really funny. I don't know if you guys, I gotta find that video. That, like, it was.
Yeah, I've never seen
I
that.
haven't
ever
seen
seen
that.
you know what I'm talking about? She was a Beachbody coach. And she made these really funny videos, and she's like eating her in her car, and then someone comes by and she like opens a bag of spinach and she's like shoving spinach in her mouth. And I don't know if you've seen that.
That's
Anyway,
so funny.
okay.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's why people always talk about, like, don't wait until you're at your goal weight to start coaching and talking about this, because that's not relatable when people only see it before and after. Like, they need to know that you are in the trenches and the same struggles with them all the time. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you all.
You're welcome. Good luck. Any other questions? We have about 8 minutes. So Where are you guys at for Success Club? Type it in the chat. I'm just curious. Because I was telling the call before you guys hustle tonight and tomorrow and get as many invites that you can, because people are going to completely uncheck for the Memorial Day weekend. They will. It happens every single year. Even if they're at home, it's just that mindset. Memorial Day weekend. And I know there's a couple days after Memorial Day, which thank goodness. But it's so much less stressful. If you can nail it down before, then you don't have to stress the last couple days, you guys. Like, that's the worst, is having to stress. And it's 9:00 on the 31st and you're at Success Club 4. Okay. So hustle. And if you can get it before the weekend, I promise you can enjoy your weekend with your family and you're not going to feel like stressed next week. Okay. So lots of 4, 2, Shelby's at 8. Awesome. Lots of 2. Tiffany's at 8. So yeah, you guys, seriously, just follow up with everybody you've invited the last couple months. Invite as many as you can tonight, tomorrow. And I promise if you can nail it down before Memorial Day, it'll be way better. Promise. I've done this long enough. It's not fun. Allison, you guys, even if you're at 0, you can still do it. Promise. Shelby says she's hustling. Everyone's saying no or too expensive. So what's it like when people say it's too expensive? Are they just saying like they can't afford it? It's not in their budget?
Yeah, they say that they can't afford it, or it's too much, or they have no time for it. And I'm like, okay, if I can make 20 minutes work for me, and my child screaming in the background, I'm like, you can make 20 minutes too. And sometimes it's people that, you know, have normal jobs, or people that don't even have kids. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'll check back with you in a month. And I have girls who are like, please follow back up with me like in a month. And so I write it down in my book. But everyone I've messaged, I swear in the last 3 days, has either ignored my messages or just is like, no, I'm not interested, but thanks, you're such an inspiration. And I swear I hear that every day. And I'm like, hey, I get it. And you watch me all the time. And it's constant people that I've asked. And they're like, yeah, I'm not interested. But they continue and continue and continue to watch. So I'm like, what do I do?
They'll join at some point. I promise they will. It's not fun when people do that, because I guarantee every single one of us have had that happen. But they'll join at some point. But again, I would just break it down for them. If they say it's too expensive, break it down. Okay. If they don't have time, just be like, girl, I understand. I have only this amount of time, and that's why I choose to work out at home, is because I don't want to go and spend an hour and a half at the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Out for 20 minutes and you're done. Start to finish, no commute at all. You can look homeless, it doesn't matter. Like, and then try to squash all those objections in your post, because if people see it enough, I mean, you guys, prime example, how many people have seen these sandals on stupid Instagram? The little, maybe you guys haven't.
I haven't seen those.
Okay, well, I saw them about 50 times, and finally I'm like, okay, I'm just going to order them. And I did, because I feel like, I don't know why, I don't even need them. But I'm like, if people see things over and over and over, they're going to eventually do it. I promise. You just got to keep trying. Clearly it works for lots of things, though. Like, I don't even need those. Yeah, Amanda says it's about making the investment another limiting belief. And it's so true. You guys, how many times? It used to drive me up the wall, because people, I mean, when I kind of first started, a lot of my market was like college-aged girls, like people that weren't married yet. And they're like, I just don't have the money, blah, blah, blah. But then they would go out with their friends every weekend and drop $40, or they would go get their nails done. I'm like, I know it's not cheap to get your nails done every other week. It's literally just not a priority. They have the money. There's some people that don't, but most people have the money. It's just not a priority. So they just need to get their priorities in check. And sometimes, you guys, people need to hit rock bottom of feeling so crappy that they're like, hey, I'm ready to change and I want to change, and like, I just need to do this. But if you aren't the person that's still inviting and talking to them and showing up for your own journey, they're going to go elsewhere. They're going to go to somebody else that didn't quit and just is showing up. Okay. So that's another reason, you guys, we hear no over and over and over, but at some point those people will join, and when they're ready, they might be ready just for that one day, and they're going to go to the person that talked to them and the person that showed up on their feed every time. It's not going to be somebody that invited them 3 months ago. It's going to be that day who invited them and whose post they saw that day. So that's why you don't quit, and that's why you share your journey and talk about what you're doing. Okay. Amanda says she used to say she was broke AF. I can't afford a challenge pack, but you better believe if I wanted to buy a bag of weed or a bottle of wine or go to the bar, she made it happen. And you guys, it's so true. It's so true. And it's about trust. Like, trust. I tell my people all the time, like, just trust me. I promise that this will help your life. It will. Okay. Yeah. And Amanda just said, if people literally have no money, if that's a big thing, get them plugged into Clean Week, because it's $0. They can at least do those, 4 workouts and those meal plans that they have just to get their foot in the door. Okay. And then they are linked to you as their coach, as the coach. So that's an awesome way to just get their foot in the door. Get them plugged into Clean Week, add them to your challenge group if you want, and then at least they're starting with something. At least they're getting those little bits of positivity and those little bits of, oh, I worked out and I have that post-workout high and I feel good, So that's great advice, Amanda. I always sometimes forget about Clean Week or the 2-week free trial, you guys. But even sometimes people don't want to put their credit card in. So Clean Week is perfect. So, okay. I think, unless you guys have any more questions, we'll end this one and hop on with the diamonds. But yeah, if you guys have questions, hopefully that was a little bit helpful. And yeah, have a good night, you guys.